I'm Delaney France.
And I'm Hannah Farrow, and you're watching the BBN Weekly News. This week we'll be taking a look into the history of homecoming, this weekend's weather, and more Beaver sports.
Let's turn it over to Thad to learn more about the history of homecoming.
Homecoming is here again. This time-honored tradition has deep roots at Scott Community High School. From the early celebrations in the 1940s, some traditions have stood the test of time. We've reached out to SCHS alumni to look back on the history of homecoming, and they've shared their stories about their homecoming experiences and brought back memories. The earliest traces of what we now know as homecoming we were able to date back to the 1940s. The football queen, who was nominated and voted on by the student body, reigned over the game, a tradition that we still have today. At many of these early football games, Dighton or Ness City was chosen to be the rival. During the 1950s, homecoming celebrations were partnered with an all-school dance, or sometimes called the football prom. Royalty was honored at the dance. In the 1960s, the homecoming celebration was bigger than ever. A football queen was elected by either the student body or the football team. A dance was held along with pep rallies to boost school spirit. It was also during the 1960s that the tradition of giving a decorated football to the homecoming queen began. This is also a tradition that is still carried on today. Pam Farrow, SCHS alumni from the class of 1970, remembers they always went to the game just to see who won. She also mentioned the parade was awesome with many floats. It was during this time that students held a bonfire the night before the game with lots of cheering and singing the school song. The 80s and 90s ramped up homecoming celebrations with events going on all week. Students would dress up according to the themes and party at the homecoming dance after the game. My father, T.A. Butler, graduated in 1998. He remembered dressing up scandalously in Daisy Duke shorts his junior year for Gender Bender Day. Today, homecoming still pays homage to our traditions. This year's theme, Back to the Future, encourages students to reflect on the homecoming traditions of the past. Even though we might travel far, we can always come home to Scott City. For BBN News, I'm Thad Butler.
Thanks, Thad.
Now let's see what Sage has for us about our homecoming week.
This past week has been a homecoming to remember, from the crazy outfits to the fun festivities, all leading up to tonight's football game. This year, people were encouraged to take a trip to the past and put on their best 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s attire. Let's take a look at some of the outfits put together this week. Starting the week with a 70s theme, saw a plethora of people dress up. Students wore bell-bottoms, fringe, and tie-dye. Moving into Tuesday, students kept up with the times and found their best 80s themed clothing. It truly looked like Back to the Future, with the resurgence of high-top sneakers, neons, and big hair. The homecoming spirit stayed strong on Wednesday as students pulled out their best 90s look. Students picked out outfits with a lot of denim and plaid. Ending the throwback week off on Thursday, students got together their most authentic 2000s outfit. Y2K fashion roamed the halls and jeans were low-rise. Homecoming week is a time for the students and staff to come together and celebrate the one thing they all have in common: being a Beaver. And with that, for BBN, I'm Sage Steckline.
Thanks, Sage.
We have Jimena giving us updates on Beaver sports.
We are running back to another week of Beaver sports. I spoke with football players Brady Welker and Freddie Castillo about this football season.
I feel like the season's been going pretty good. We've been pretty consistent on winning. We only lost one time. Our plays, we just got to work on plays and continue the season and hopefully win tonight.
Some of the challenges is some of the guys that are in new positions and learning a whole new offense, but the offense has been pretty easy to learn and it's been pretty good. Team bonding is just, I think, more in the locker room. We team bond a lot because we'll play music, play different kinds of music, just everyone's dancing around, having fun. And then before the season, we just all got together and just hung out and tried to have fun with each other. But man, I think everyone's been doing really good. There's not one player that I can't say good things about. Everyone's been doing good. Braden Bruner stepped up the past couple games, coming in for Adrian getting hurt. Then Alex Tarango last Friday against TMP came in for Jace after he got hurt. Everyone's just been doing really good this year.
Thank you, Brady and Freddie. Make sure to support the team tonight for the homecoming game against Teagaton. Tomorrow, the volleyball team will have a home tournament. Tomorrow, the girls' golf team will be traveling to Lakin, and they will be traveling to Goodland for their GWAC on Monday. Monday, girls tennis will be hosting their GWAC. Make sure to go support. For BBN Weekly News, I'm Jimena Garcia.
Thanks, Jimena.
And to wrap up this week's newscast, let's hear from Annie about this weekend's weather.
We are continuing with warm weather this weekend. Today's high is 91 with a low of 55. On Saturday, we are moving into slightly cooler weather with a high of 88 and a low of 53. The high in Lincoln, Kansas, where golf will be for a tournament, will be 87 with a low of 54. In Colby, Kansas, where JV volleyball will be traveling, the high will be 85 with a low of 53. Back in Scott City on Sunday, the high will be 84 with a low of 51. Have a fantastic weekend, and for BBN, I'm Annie Talbert.
Thanks, Annie. And with that, for BBN News, I'm Hannah Farrell.
And I'm Delaney France. Have a good weekend.
And go Beavers.